What's going on, everybody? Shane Thomas, and in this video we're not going to learn any classic country music song tutorials. Instead, I'm going to pay tribute to Naomi Judd. As many of you probably learned, she recently passed away, and I thought it fitting to make a tribute video to her, kind of saying or explaining her impact on me, her what she meant to me. And there'll be plenty of guitar tutorials to come very soon. I've been traveling a lot. Went down to Nashville and Bedlam, Tennessee. I think it's called Bedlam, Tennessee. I saw a concert in the Caverns. You might be familiar with that if the PBS series where they play concerts underground in a cave in caverns. The Caverns is called. So that was cool. And so been doing a lot of traveling, Country Music Highway and Nashville. And but there will be plenty of country music tutorials to come. But for now, for this video, I just want to pay tribute to Naomi Judd. Growing up in the 80s as a kid, the Judds were part of the soundtrack of my childhood. They were huge in the 80s. I remember, I was young. I was a young guy, and I remember the Judds and those songs being on the radio all the time. When I was outside playing, or my dad was building something or fixing a car, I always seemed like country music on most of the time. And it was, the Judds they were dominating airways. They hit after hit, it seemed like, and they were winning awards. And so yeah, the Judds played a big role in my childhood as far as soundtracks go. And I love their songs. I love their harmonies. Now, part of that, as I was growing up, I remember vividly when somebody told me they were from Kentucky. I mean, you would see it on the news a lot, or you'd hear about it, and people would always remind you, they're from Kentucky, right? And being from Kentucky, a proud Kentuckian, I was proud that they made it big time, and they had so much good music, and it made me feel proud to be from Kentucky, even as a child. And as a little kid, being a little kid, you get these crushes, and I had the biggest crush on Naomi Judd. She was beautiful, I thought. I thought she was so beautiful. And so that little kid, back in the 80s, in the country, loved he had the biggest crush on Naomi Judd. Just thought she was beautiful, and I still thought she was beautiful, even when I grew up. Speaking of growing up, when I got older, and as I was getting older, and Winona went on to her solo career, I remember getting a book out of the library one time, and it was called Love Can Build a Bridge, I think. I don't know if that was Naomi's book or both of their books, the Judd's book. I think it was Naomi's biography or something. But I remember reading it because I always loved reading biographies about musicians and how they lived, if I could learn anything from them. And so I remember reading that book. I think it was called either Love is Alive or Love Can Build a Bridge. I'm pretty sure it's Love Can Build a Bridge. But I remember checking that out at the library and reading about the story, how it's basically a rags to riches story, a fairy tale of how this single mom and her daughters, single mom being Naomi Judd, against all odds, I think she was a nurse, I'm pretty sure, beat the odds and went on to become, her and Winona, become these huge superstars of country music. One of the most successful country duos of all time, country music duos of all time, and Ashley Judd, super talented in her own right as an actress. So I just loved hearing and learning about that story from Ashland, Kentucky, against all odds. She and her daughter just singing their hearts out and had so much confidence and faith in themselves. And they eventually became legendary country music artists. So on top of, or in addition of being proud that they're from Kentucky, that made me a huge fan of the Judds and Naomi. And knowing their backstory, their origin story, if you will, was just wonderful wonderful too. And then just recently, I think last year or a couple of years ago, I can't remember, pandemic screws all my timing up. But the Ken Burns documentary about country music, there was a little segment about the Judds, and I got to revisit that story of them as they became popular and stuff. But above all, just wonderful songs, wonderful harmony, really good singers, and had a huge impact on me. And even when I was doing this country music highway road trip, you know, you create playlists and stuff, and you better believe many of the songs on that playlist was the Judds. And those songs will never die. And that's why I'll do these videos, right? When I first wanted to start making guitar lessons and country guitar tutorials, you know, I thought about it, and, you know, people ask me or tell me today, like, you know, why don't you do like newer country songs or something? Or you get more subscribers, you get more views if you did like Luke Combs or Luke Bryant songs or Kane Brown songs and Dan and Shay songs. Like, yeah, I can play those songs. You know, there's some good songs out there, no doubt. But, you know, the reason I wanted to start making these videos on this channel, Country Guitar Classics, it's called that for a reason, right? I want to keep these classic country songs alive, and I want to keep these artists alive, the memories of these artists alive. And it's tough, and I know that, or I knew this going in. Just like when somebody like Naomi Judd passes away, you're like, dang, I wish I had more of the Judds songs out there for people to learn, you know? And they're out there. There's tons of guitar channels showing you how to play these songs, which is wonderful. It's great. But what I'm trying to say is the motivation of me doing these videos is sincerely keeping these songs alive and the artists that create them, write them, sing them, perform them, keeping them alive. And sure, I know, yeah, from a financial perspective or, I don't, business, it even says, funny for me to say that, a business perspective, yeah, if I played the popular hits of country music, I'd probably get more views, I'd probably have more subscribers, but that's not the point, and that's been never the motivation of this channel. The motivation has been playing these classic country music songs that have impacted me and millions of people around the world, and almost like part history lesson, part giving respect to the songwriters and the artists. It's just trying to keep these songs alive so they won't die, right? So they won't fade away. So, and it's tough, you know, working full time and you're trying to make as many videos as you can in your spare time to try to get as many songs out there so people can learn them as you can. And I just want to say thanks for all the requests. I got, you know, list after list of requests, and I'm trying to get through them as fast as I can. And I wish this was my full-time job, but it's currently not. Maybe someday it might be, but I'm going to stay true to what this channel was created for, and that is to showcase classic country music artists like Naomi Judd. Now, part of that, what comes with that is, you know, many of these artists are already gone, like Hank Williams, Waylon Jennings, Merle Haggard, you name it. And it's tough, right? And you think about like Willie Nelson. You know, will Willie ever pass away? I hope not. But it does cross your mind. You're like, man, I got to get as many Willie songs out there as I can. Or like when you learn that Naomi Judd passed away, you're like, man, why didn't you have more than just a few Judd songs out there for people to learn? But I'm glad there's other YouTubers out there showing you how to play these classic songs. And I'm going to try my best to put out as many country music song tutorials as I can in the time that I'm allowed. And so hopefully be patient, bear with me. But I just wanted you to know the motivation has always been to make these classic songs remain relevant so you can learn how to play them. So if you're just learning the guitar, you can share them with the world, and you keep these songs alive and memories alive of great songs and great artists like Naomi Judd. So Naomi Judd, I hate, I don't want to speculate. I don't keep up with news too much, but the news I saw and a couple of articles I saw, a statement, I think it was Ashley Judd, one of her daughters released a statement, maybe both of them did. But I think the statement I saw was something like Naomi Judd was battling mental illness and stuff. And maybe I should have mentioned this earlier, but man, if that's true, if she struggled with mental illness and you might be battling mental illness, or somebody that might be struggling, man, it's so sad. And I just wish people knew how much, from my understanding, when somebody's dealing with depression or mental illness, that they might not think nobody cares about them, or they don't want to be no longer on this earth. I sure hope that's not the case with Naomi Judd, because being a little kid, man, I loved her. It was a crush, but I loved her music, and I can be 80, 90 years old, and hopefully my memory will still work right, and I can look back when I was a little kid running around in the country in the sticks without a shirt on, him and his dog, fishing and doing all kinds of stuff, and you hear, Grandpa tell me about the good old days, or Why Not Me, or Love Is Alive, or all them classic, Lord Have Mercy on Me, all those songs, in the background. And I just hate for somebody to think that life's not worth living, and if she was depressed, and I don't want to speculate, but I just hope, anybody, Naomi, anybody struggling with mental illness, know that you're not alone. There's people out there that love you. There's resources out there to, get you some help and stuff. So I sure hope that's not the case with Naomi Judd. But I just want to make a video about her impact on me, the Judd's impact on me, the fact that I'm trying to get as many videos out as I can that showcase wonderful songs like the Judds have. And so there you go. Rest in peace, Naomi Judd. I love you. You were a big crush of my childhood. And my childhood, I can just close my eyes and still, it takes me back to exactly where I was when I'm hearing the Judd songs and Naomi Judd's voice, Wyona's voice, when I was a kid. All right. Until next time, y'all keep humming and strumming. Play you some Judd songs. Be looking for Judd songs from me in the future, so we can keep these songs alive and carry on their memories. Take care.